Hey everybody, it's your girl, Pajama, the variant. Pajama Life. And today I'm here with my wonder twin. Form of a not clumsy person.
A not klutzy person, okay.
And hey, everybody, say hey to our guru of all things Star Wars and collectibles. Let's say hey to David.
Hey, everybody, great to be with you to talk about this. We're saying so long to Ahsoka, so long to the Continental, and hello, Loki. Can't wait.
Yes, loop with Loki. And we'll see if our buddy Patrick is able to dip in or not. But we are going to review today the finales of Ahsoka and the Continental and the season 2 premiere of Loki. So let's get started with, let's say, Loki.
You are quite a marvel. I will be proud to lead with you. You made a difference in this war. Thank you for being on my team.
I got him. I got the intruder.
Mobius.
Where is he?
Don't you understand? We're all variants.
This changes everything.
This changes nothing.
We got to the man at the end of time, and he made sense.
We have a little bit of a situation we wanted to run by you.
That's what's been happening.
Wow. Time slipping.
Wait, you know that?
Yeah.
You've seen that?
Yeah.
Can you fix that?
No.
David, what'd you think of season 2 of Loki, Ouroboros?
Oh, wow. The first season was wild and
phenomenal.
It was a nice story with tremendous cast and everything. I got to tell you, man, I felt going into kind of a loop-de-loop. Great to see, I believe it was Short Round there making his appearance.
Don't call that man by his real name.
When I can remember his real name, I'm looking at
Kwan.
The man won an Oscar. And hey, it's neat to see. I'm glad it's back. Don't know where it's going to go or how it's going to end. That's the great thing about this show. Very much, and time keeps on slipping into the future. That's what I kept thinking in my head. Need to see it back. It's got a great kind of, there's a Halloween-esque aspect to it with Loki and his mischief. So I think it's perfect for this fall day to kind of kick things off.
Now, this had quite a bit of time travel all the way through it. Yeah. But I really love Tom Hiddleston and everybody in the cast so far, and Ouroboros OB, which is great. I love Kiwan Kwan. He's like perfect in this, so I just really enjoyed it. I hope they get to stuff that's not quite time travel, time slipping, loop-de-loops. What?
That's the whole thing of the entire
show. Know, but I felt like last season there was like personal relationship building and, kind of a relationship story too. So I want to see some of that go on as well, as opposed to all the flips and trips and all this stuff around time travel. So I did enjoy it though, but it was quite confusing. So it does merit a multiple watch. So definitely, I think it's something too that the whole family can watch. I don't think there's anything objectionable in this. So definitely hang out with your kids on this Indigenous Day weekend and watch Loki season 2. All right. Next up. Oh my goodness. This is the way you do a finale in the Continental. Let's take a peek.
Why are you the man who's going to kill Cormac?
I'm offering you a chance to decide who you want to be.
We're gonna make it up to the armorer. It's you getting that key that really worries us.
Return this prodigal son to me, and I promise I will rain your justice down upon you. Somebody, anybody, just drop the hammer on this treasonous puke.
See, I learned a suit doesn't make a man. No, it's what's inside the suit that counts. But a wolf in sheep's clothing can't rely on killer instinct alone. It's his resourcefulness and perhaps an open heart that can turn garbage into gold and enemies into allies.
I love it. Oh my gosh. So this was also directed by Albert Hughes. And so you got some 70s funk in there to some of the songs. I mean, the soundtrack is fire. I mean, if you love 70s classic R&B or funk or like classic rock kind of things going on, it was like every song just hit. It just hit. But the story, I mean, the action sequences were some of the best. I think the twins and the girl twin, you never get their name, but when she did that, what do you call it? Like gymnastics move or like that fight scene with her and Yin was just incredible. The Burton twin or the Burton brother and sister, their fights, I mean, it brought me back to Black Belt Jones and Get Christy Love from classic black cinema, and something that I definitely appreciated. And I really thought that they tied the threads all back together. And so that's what really I thought made it interesting how they wrapped it up. So even the final scene, you got to see the John Wick movie, at least the first one, to understand what it meant when the scene you saw, why it happened the way it happened. So I just really enjoy it. This is not for children.
Oh, why not?
If you let your kids watch this, I don't know what you're doing. But it definitely is fun. It's a lot of action, interesting, new take on the John Wick universe. And I can't wait to see if they're going to have another season or another period in the John Wick universe that they cover, which I think is going to be next is Ballerina. That's coming out, I believe, on Netflix though. So I'm definitely in and looking forward to it. David, what you thinking?
Well, I agree with you 100% on the soundtrack, and there was good action, but I love the music, and I think that's been something you could make a good case for the soundtrack throughout this entire thing.
Yeah.
It's great music to have with your continental breakfast. Ha ha ha. But me, I'm not a big John Wick guy, so the story, it's like, okay, I would really like to see, kudos to Keanu Reeves for getting this franchise, and now it's extending beyond him. But it's thanks for playing. It's not going to be one of my favorites.
Well, I tell you what, I have to give it to Mel Gibson. I mean, he played this megalomaniacal villain like completely over the top, but it kind of warranted it because of who he is. I was like, okay, I believe it. I'm gonna buy it. He's a horrible person. So I believe he's a horrible person. So yeah, that tracked for me. So I really have to give it to him on that. And the writers really still, while creating something new, creating something that still held the threads of the John Wick series. So I thought this was a really good prequel that you don't see a lot of times. And David's completely wrong about John Wick, but we'll let him have that. But definitely check out. It's kind of a mixed review here, but I say, you want some action? You want some classic great music with your action and some really interesting story? Check out John Wick, from the universe of John Wick, The Continental. It's on Peacock. All right. Well, I was hoping our buddy Pat would be able to dip in, but we'll see as we take a look at the final episode of the Mortis Gods. Ahsoka. Let's see.
Yeah, so where is Ahsoka? Is she coming?
Grand Admiral, we are tracking the Jedi shuttle. It is closing.
Open the channel, please. I know you. Because I knew your master. This is where a Ronin such as you belongs. Today, victory is mine. Have the main batteries target the fortress for bombardment.
Affirmative, Grand Admiral.
Ezra? This ever happened before?
No, this is new.
Lucky us.
Long live the Empire.
Okay, of course we have to have our resident Star Wars expert give us the 1-2 on this. Go ahead, David.
Well, here in this episode that is a season finale cliffhanger, the first thought is it probably needed a one more episode at least. Andor was 12, and I think for character development and some of the slowness at the early, I think 10 or 12 episodes would have really helped this story. But let's talk about some of the Easter eggs and things that you saw. Obviously, we see more of Grand Admiral Thrawn. We see more of the witches of Dathomir. We see one of the other pieces of expanded universe that has kind of caught on, for better or for worse. Star Wars did kind of grab into that zombie craze. There is at least one novel out there.
Come on.
Talks about, there's one novel and a fanfic photo novel that has dealt with this kind of thing before. So you've got the Stormtroopers, Night of the Living Dead. It's something that we're seeing, but for better or for worse, Filoni brings that in. Neat to see, but so often with these season finale cliffhangers, and I don't know if we need to give our cast full medical checkups before they start when they deal with these kind of things. The most compelling performances of the entire program, the late Ray Stevenson.
Great.
He's played the last couple of episodes here. All we see is he's looking longingly off to Mordor or whatever, and
you said Mordor.
And we don't get a real proper culmination of his character. Shin is another.
Never will.
That really, I hear some really positive vibes about her on the with the fans. My sense is that's in part because it was really a character that you saw her do action, but you didn't really have her do a whole lot. So there's a level of mystery with her. But it's a big gaping hole with the loss of Ray Stevenson. Obviously, you don't want to see anyone pass at an early age. But from a story perspective, we'll just talk selfishly about that.
Yeah.
I don't know what you can do with his character. You can recast, and then, boy, what a disservice, because he was amazing in this.
Yeah.
And it would have at least have had some culmination of a story arc of something there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot left on the table. This is very much a Rebels reboot, but we were missing Zeb for all intents and purposes in this. We didn't have nearly enough with the Ghost and the whole crew together. So there's some missing pieces. I think this was it was a nice effort, but I think in comparison to, say, the quality of the Mandalorian season 1 and 2, or what we saw in Andor, I think it comes up a little wanting here for me. Good, fun, probably better than the other shows, but that ending, the lackluster ending, did not make for a great end to season 1.
See, and I agree with you totally on this, because I just...
Stop the presses, everybody.
I just felt like it just kind of ended with a lot of threads hanging, and it's just like, come on now, this is Star Wars, and this is Dave Filoni, I believe, wrote it. Yeah. So I'm kind of like, dude, you need to like do your endings a little bit better. I was just like, so what? Spoiler alert. Let me tell you now, spoiler alert. So they just go leave them on the planet, and they're just in that galaxy far, far away, never to return. I mean, are the space whales gonna come back and woo, kind of, you talk about time slipping, you know, they gotta like wait for how many years before somebody swings by and picks them up? I was just kind of like, no on that. And then there's a lot of talk. And David, what's your thought about that? That the three of them are the Mortis gods come back, because you saw the bird at the end, and you saw the a force ghost of someone. But so is that, then you have the components of Ahsoka, Anakin, and the maybe Ray Stevenson's character as the three Mortis gods that created the force?
I don't think we're going to have that, but there'll certainly be some connections back with the spirits of them in this.
As you did see the statues, right, and the faces of the Mortis gods.
Oh yeah, there was the
even I know that
more of Dave Filoni world there.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to have that kind of like them stepping into that, but anything's possible.
I mean, they got to do something.
It is, and they've got to probably do some rewrites here.
Yeah.
And whatever they were going to do with Shin's character, I think we're going to see some things morph.
Yeah, because they really ended her character terrible. Well, they're just holding up her saber, and it's like, what?
That made no sense. That was a real, I think, shortcoming here with this. I thought, and another important piece here too. It was great to see Thrawn in live action, but to really appreciate his genius and his strength, none of that was really on display here.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Y'all kept making fun of me, but I just
wasn't on display nearly enough. It was great to see him, but he's not going to just send two fighters out to take out. It's like, unless he only had two fighters.
I think he just had two fighters.
But I mean, that was it. What we have, I don't know. I mean, you've got the witches from Macbeth. They can get over their cauldron and zip something up, maybe.
You would think, or take some of the people who were there and then make them, conscript them into service, force them, and then you got more soldiers. So it was kind of, that part I was just kind of like, no, that's not.
And it felt like a video game. It really, and I'm not, it was more like a video game where you go from one level to the next to the piece. And that that also seemed lacking in terms of story. And I'm a lot more forgiving.
Yeah, you are.
With with animated shows.
Yeah.
Okay, it's cartoon world. I don't take it seriously. Disney wanted to embrace this. And frankly, Rebels, as much as I liked it, it didn't get really good until they went back to the expanded universe and took a character not created by anyone affiliated with the Disney universe, not affiliated with George Lucas. He just signed off and said, go do whatever. But Timothy Zahn, who kind of rebooted Star Wars, Heir to the Empire, Dark Force Rising, and Last Command. You got to go read those 3 books from the early 1990s. It doesn't exactly jive with with some of the Clone War stuff, but they're wonderful novels and give us they expand the story and give us really good, fun characters to build in the saga. And that I think also is kind of missing at times with what Disney has done in the movies and on the TV show. But again, it was nice to watch.
Yeah.
It's a notch below what we got from Mandalorian 1 and 2.
Well, now here's the big question of the series: The Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Andor, Boba Fett. What am I missing? There's one more.
Boba Fett, Andor, Kenobi.
Rank them 1 to 5.
For me, I'm gonna
1 being the best.
1 being the best. I'd probably say Mandalorian for its just sheer Star Warsiness and the fun and everything. That goes 1. But I loved Andor. This was grown-up Star Wars. This was awesome. Awesome stuff. So, Mando, Andor. I'll say Ahsoka. I'll then put the Book of Boba Fett, and then I will put Kenobi.
Oh, you rat! No! A pox on thee.
Oh, all right. Top 5.
Okay,
Top 5.
Here it goes. Mando, because that season 2 finale. Man. That was just great TV. Just great TV.
Yep.
Obi-Wan Kenobi second. I loved it. Then Andor. And then I don't know if Ahsoka goes 4th or 5th. Boba Fett had some good stuff to it, and so they're kind of a tie. But I'll put Boba Fett last, and I'll put Ahsoka 4th because of Ray Stevenson. And I thought he brought so much to what could have been a very throwaway kind of role. He just elevated it so much and kind of saved the show for me, honestly.
I think that's fair. And I'll bump Kenobi from 5th to 4th. I'll put the Book of Boba Fett as 5th. I'd forgotten how annoying those mod kids were if they had just been painted down. And oh gosh, the one actor, the actor who pretended to be a Jedi, but he wasn't. He's a comedian, but he's really buff.
Kumail Nanjiani.
That guy
he's too buff now. He's too buff. I look at him and I'm like, get off the juice, man. It's too much.
And Ewan McGregor, I really liked him. I was disappointed with a lot of things with Kenobi. There's a lot of potential, but I'll move that to 4th, and we'll put Book of Boba Fett down to 5.
Yeah, thank you. At least. But I just really enjoyed Third Sister's character. I just thought that was super cool. And something for the little black girls out there, all of us blurs, that we can have somebody who looks like us in the Star Wars canon. And we want you to stick around for the Pajama Life canon. Oh, that's all we have for this week. But next week, we're kind of doing some Halloween-y type movies each week. So next week, we have the other black girl on Hulu, and we'll talk about Loki, and we will catch up with GenV, and we'll do one more GenV after this to kind of wrap it up. But definitely come back and check us out. David, you got any final words for us?
Just to wish everyone well. Enjoy the Halloween season. Get your costumes ready. Take a couple of extra laps so you could enjoy that good candy that we'll all get on the 31st. And we'll be back next week to talk about more of your favorite shows.
We sure will. And as we say, take care and pray for Israel and Palestine that they somehow can come together and not have war. And we say, take care.